All right, and for the fourth example, we actually have something very interesting on this shape, which is a center line. And what that center line means is that everything above it, or on one side of it, is the same as everything below it. It's just reflected, like you may have seen in a math class. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bigger highlighter. I'm going to highlight this bottom half, and I'm going to ignore it while I count my dimensions. And that's because anything that I dimension on the top half of the drawing, someone who's drawing this would be able to apply to the bottom half since it is the same. So first I'm going to count my horizontal dimensions. I'll start at the top left. And I will move to the right. So I'm counting any dimensions or any interesting aspects that I see. One thing that I see is this point on the curve, but I know that since I'm going to draw the size, or I'm going to label the size of that curve, I don't need to tell us its location because the center of the curve is actually in line with my original dot. And so I'm going to skip that, and I'm going to move on to this hidden line as my first edge. This second hidden line is my second edge. This object line down here is my third edge, and then the right side of the object as my fourth. And so I see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 horizontal details that I want to have dimensioned. Then I'm going to start counting vertical. So from this top, I'm going to go downwards, and the first thing that I see is actually this edge right here. And then the second thing I see is the center line. And so that's only 2 vertical dimensions. Then the last thing that we need to ask is, are there any size dimensions that we need? And since there's one curved object, we are going to need one size dimension, which is this curve right here. So now we can start applying this to our finished drawing, our answer. And I'm going to label my drawing on the bottom and the right side, so that then I can also put my size dimension on the left side and not have to cross anything out. So horizontally, I'm going to start by doing the whole dimension, or the whole width, excuse me. If I count this on the graph paper, starting in the corner, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the total width is 11. Then I'm going to go to the first hidden line, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. And then I'm going to skip this small piece here because it's only 2. And instead what I'm going to do is start dimensioning from the right side. And we'll see how this will help us avoid having to write like a 2 there, because I could hardly fit the arrows if I wrote a 2 in that dimension. So going from the right side, I'm going to first get to this hidden line, and then I'm going to dimension to this, this object edge. So the hidden line is 5 away. And then this edge is 3 from the side. So I do have 4 horizontal dimensions. I didn't dimension this directly, but by using the total width of 11, you can subtract 4 and 5 from 11 to figure out that 2. And that should remind you of drawings that we've done before where we've had to do a little bit of arithmetic in order to figure out different dimensions, even if they're not listed explicitly. Then from the the top, I'm going to first dimension the longest dimension, which is to the center. And so the center is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. So I'm going to draw that. And then the second largest is here, which is just 4. And then the last thing that we need to do is look at the size of that arc. And so the size of the arc, if we look at the center, we can go 1, 2 to the side. And we can actually do that in multiple different directions. So that means that the radius is 2. And so I'm going to draw a leader line horizontally and then right into the arc. And I'm going to put R for radius and 2 for the measurement. And that's our final example.